Hello everyone, I'm your digital host, Tatyana White. Welcome back to another episode of the 48 Recap, the one-stop shop to catch up on some of the top news stories of the week. It's so great to be back with all of you. I enjoyed the journalist conference that I attended in Cleveland last week. It was my first time in Cleveland and I had such a wonderful time. And I missed you all, and I'm excited to be back to give you all a recap of some of our top news stories of the week. And there have been many top stories this week, including a string of murder-suicides in North Alabama, new details revealed in the case of a mother who was accused of killing her infant son, a 48 exclusive speaking to the family of a teen who was killed in an accidental shooting, a injured Scottsboro police officer comes home, and exciting new establishments are coming to Huntsville, and DUI checkpoints have started ahead of Labor Day weekend. I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend so far. Let's get into this weekend's recap. One of the top news stories this week was out of Red Bay, where a third murder-suicide happened here in North Alabama within the span of 2 weeks. Red Bay investigators told 48 News that a daughter beat her mother and sister to death with a baseball bat before killing herself. 48's Callie Neese spent Thursday at the scene of this crime and has the latest on this developing story.
Red Bay Police Chief Jana Jackson told me that this was very tragic and described the scene as intense. Jackson says they believe 23-year-old Derek Moody beat her 59-year-old mother, Teresa Sappington, and her 28-year-old sister, Leah Moody, to death with a ball bat, then turned a gun on herself. Investigators recovered one shotgun and one bat from the scene. Jackson says a family member and friend found the scene and called 911. All 3 bodies have been sent for autopsies. Neighbors tell me they are stunned. Elizabeth Kimbrough has lived here for about 15 years. She says she was in complete shock when she heard the news.
Derek was just my friend. Just shock. Just complete and utter and heartbroken. Because I know he was sweet.
Jackson told me that crimes like this do not happen very often in this area, and it's a big responsibility for her and her officers to investigate these kinds of crimes.
It was very saddening for the family and friends, and our thoughts and prayers are with all the family and friends of these individuals.
Jackson told me she doesn't know the motive at this time, adding that once they receive the autopsy report back, they're hoping to know more. Reporting in Red Bay, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
This incident comes as Huntsville police continue investigating another murder-suicide in North Alabama. 52-year-old Gregory Clemens is accused of stabbing Natasha Jones to death before using a gun to end his own life. Police said the two were in a relationship. Several questions also remain surrounding another murder-suicide in Huntsville. Dominic Kane Tucker and a 1-year-old baby were both found dead after a fire was reported on Retlaw Street near Jordan Lane. Investigators said evidence and autopsy results show that both victims died from gunshot wounds. Neighbors told 48 News they are heartbroken and confused by the case. And in South Alabama, investigators are also hard at work searching for clues after another apparent murder-suicide involving a family of 4 in Daphne. The Baldwin County Sheriff said Larica Gaines Smith and 2 children identified as 15-year-old Christian and 11-year-old Kinsley were among the victims who were shot and killed by Kenneth Smith Jr., who was Larica's husband and Christian and Kinsley's father. Kenneth then turned the gun on himself. Deputies rushed to the home around 3:30 on Thursday morning after reports of gunshots. When investigators tried to conduct a welfare check, deputies made that tragic discovery. Neighbors described the family as loving and having a seemingly normal dynamic.
Just the nicest, sweetest family. Their kids were so sweet. They babysat my daughter. Just good people. She just told me they just celebrated their wedding anniversary 2 weeks ago. And was happy about it. So I don't understand. I don't understand how this could happen.
Deputies spent most of that day collecting evidence from the home. An investigation is underway. And a 48 update out of Limestone County where disturbing new details were revealed on Thursday in Morgan Thornton's preliminary hearing. She is charged with capital murder of her infant son. 48's Noah Cowell was in the courtroom and he heard from investigators who said Thornton already admitted to the crime.
Morgan Thornton is accused of beating her baby boy Jonah to death, and testimony today was enough for a judge to send her capital murder case to a grand jury. The testimony revealed that Thornton told Jonah's dad that night that she had just killed a demon. The lone witness today, investigator Martin Evans, says he went to the house on that night 2 weeks ago to find bloodstains around Jonah's room and Thornton standing outside the house covered in blood. Evans testified that according to another investigator, the child's father says Morgan woke him up and said she killed a demon before leading him to Jonah's room where the baby was lying on a diaper genie. The day after the murder, as she was leaving her bond hearing, Thornton had this to say about what she remembered from that night.
I put my son to bed. I swaddled him and put him to bed at 7 o'clock. And then.
Do you remember anything after that?
Tried to give him CPR. That's all it.
But Evans testified that while medics were giving Jonah CPR, Thornton told them 3 times that she did beat the kid. And he said she also tried to intervene before being placed in handcuffs. Authorities say they believe Thornton was intoxicated that night, and testimony revealed today that 2 pints of vodka and 2 shooters were found empty in the house. But her blood alcohol test hasn't come back yet. Thornton remains in jail without bond. Reporting in Athens, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
This week, we got a 48 exclusive with the family of a Huntsville teen who was accidentally shot and killed just days before his 16th birthday. His family says his best friend fired the fatal shot in a freak accident that has left 2 families broken. 48's Nick Ballinger sat down exclusively with the family of Javari Kirk and has more on this story.
Shatima Morris says her 15-year-old son, Javari Kirk, had his whole life in front of him.
He was so respectful. He was so mannerable. He wasn't a bad kid.
Kirk was shot and killed last Friday at the home of a 17-year-old who police say thought the gun was not loaded. Morris says the teen charged was her son's best friend.
I'm hurt. I'm mad. I'm angry. Hey, I'm angry at the devil because these was kids. It was a fatal accident.
Morris and her son just moved to Huntsville from Tennessee. She says the night of the accident, Kirk left her a voicemail saying he wanted to play football at Jemison High School.
He was a baby. He was my baby.
She says when police arrived at the home, they found the teen in shock, holding her son. Morris didn't know her son and his friend had access to a gun.
One bad kids. They wasn't. They just, I was like all boys, curious.
The 17-year-old is now charged with manslaughter. Morris has already forgiven who she considered a second son to her.
It wasn't one life and one family. It's 2. The devil seen a chance and he took it. And he had him a 2 and 1. And my heart going out to him, and I'm keeping him up in prayer, and I want him to pray for himself too.
Yes, he would never do anything to hurt him, and Javari would never do anything to hurt him.
Kirk's mother, sisters, and nephew will now spend Tuesday, what would have been his 16th birthday, remembering the boy they loved so much.
It was always just smiles. Like, he was the life of every single party. Like, just like, if you needed a laugh, be around Javari.
Love Uncle Vari?
Yeah.
You miss him?
Yes, I miss him.
Police are cracking down on impaired driving today through the Labor Day weekend coming up. This is a part of the Huntsville Police Department's Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign. They hope getting the word out now keeps people from getting drunk and getting behind the wheel. HPD's DUI task force is launching a citywide crackdown that will run now until Tuesday, September 2nd. The crackdown will include a series of traffic checkpoints throughout the city. These checkpoints will be in high crash areas and hotspots where police have previously identified as hotspots for impaired drivers to go through.
You drive within the city of Huntsville and you're impaired, you're caught by the DUI task force and or other law enforcement officers in the area, then the consequences are jail. And I would much rather that be the situation than me have to have a conversation with your family members saying that you didn't survive a traffic crash. I always say this: prior preparation prevents poor performance, right? And there's a line that I always use, that there's a very thin line between DUI and fatality, right? And so because of that situation, you want to prepare for the potential worst, right? So the goal is to say, hey, if we know we're going to consume alcoholic beverages or anything else that's going to potentially impair us from operating a vehicle safely, let's set up ride share, let us set up designated drivers.
Some of these checkpoints include University Drive and Old Monrovia Road, along with the intersection of at University and Research Park Boulevard, also Clinton Avenue and Monroe Street, and on Church Street and Pratt Avenue, on Maston Lake Road and Pulaski Pike, Jordan Lane, and Sparkman Drive. You can check out more on the full list of checkpoints online at WAFF.com. HPD officers said their message is simple. Plan before the party starts, use a designated driver or a rideshare app, just don't drive impaired. And we have a positive 48 News update. A Scottsboro police officer injured in the line of duty last month is finally back home. Lieutenant Derek Porch has been away from home for almost 2 weeks now, undergoing treatment for injuries he sustained during the search for a domestic violence suspect. We've been told Lieutenant Porch was shot in his left hand and that the damage was significant. 48's Faith Delp was there the night that he came home and has more on his Thursday night homecoming.
A heartwarming night here in Scottsboro as Lieutenant Derek Porch is finally back home and with his family. People in Scottsboro lined these streets tonight as he was escorted back from an out-of-state medical facility where he received treatment.
We're just thankful to the good Lord above that he's come home.
Brothers Rick and Randy Stewart came down to the Jackson County Square among people to cheer, wave flags, and salute Lieutenant Porch's arrival. Police Chief Greg Godfrey told me when he saw Porch before crossing the state line, he looked exhausted, but was excited to be going home. Lieutenant Porch was shot after a chase in the early morning hours of July 28th, rushed to the hospital, and hasn't been home until tonight.
Praying he didn't lose his hand, that he didn't lose his life. He has a wife and children, and that's what we were praying for.
That shooting sparked a manhunt that lasted nearly 24 hours before the suspect was finally caught. The Stewarts tell me they didn't know Porch personally, but they prayed for him all the time, and tonight was very special to them.
We live in a great country and a great community, and it's good to see everybody come out and support somebody that went through what Derek went through.
I was told Lieutenant Porch will have to go back for checkups, but as for now, he is home and with his family. Reporting in Scottsboro, Faith Delp, 48 News, on your side.
Welcome home, Lieutenant Porch. And new and exciting things are coming to Huntsville. IKEA has announced it is making its Alabama debut in Huntsville. This will be the first and so far only IKEA in the state. In their press release, they said their doors will open in early 2026, and businesses around the area said they are excited for this new addition, but they do have some concerns about room for parking. The strip mall where the IKEA will be is near Mid-City, just off of University Drive. The average size of an IKEA is over 200,000 square feet, and this one will be around a fourth of that, less than 50,000 square feet. IKEA's press office told 48 News there's more than enough room for IKEA shoppers and customers for surrounding businesses in this parking lot. The owner of Batter Up Cake Bakery, Allison Pomeroy, said she is very excited for more foot traffic in her store, but her employees might have to start back parking in the back. But since it is a smaller storefront, she expects people to move in and out pretty quickly.
It'll be interesting to see. People are going to have to slow down in the parking lot, so that'll be a plus. People can grab a couch and grab a cake to celebrate their new, home furnishings. So I'm excited.
An IKEA spokesperson said Huntsville customers can expect the same IKEA experience, just on a smaller footprint. They add that there will also be assigned parking spots for designated pickup orders. Another new exciting development is coming to Huntsville International Airport, as they are making a big change by adding 3 brand new nonstop flights to Florida. Starting this November, Huntsville International will start offering flights to Florida on Allegiant Airlines. Those destinations include Fort Lauderdale, St. Petersburg near Tampa, and Sanford near Orlando. Fares for these flights are as low as $39 each way. Flights to Fort Lauderdale will start on November 19th. And coming up after the break, a look into some great events happening in the Huntsville and surrounding areas this weekend, a special farewell to 48 News sports reporter Cam Durr, all that and more when we come back. Hello everyone and welcome back to the 48 recap. I see I have a comment from Mike saying hello. Good afternoon, Mike, and thank you for tuning in. And if you all are in the Huntsville area, or if you're looking for a good event in Huntsville or the surrounding areas this weekend, check out the adoption event with Rocket City Rescue. The event will be held at the Rocket City Dog Bar today from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and it's a great opportunity to help a dog or a cat find their forever home. And there are plenty of fun sporting events to check out. As you all know, we're getting into the sports season, football and everything, but this weekend it's going to be the Rocket City Trash Pandas versus the Knoxville Smokies playing tonight at 6:35 p.m. at Toyota Field. They will also play again tomorrow at 2:35 p.m. And Huntsville City FC plays against New York City FC 2 at Wicks Family Field at Joe Davis Stadium starting at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And there will also be the Mary Mac's Rocket City Microthon happening tomorrow starting at 2 p.m. at Butler Green at Campus 805. And this is a family-friendly fundraising event and will be a traditional road race. All proceeds benefit Mary Mac's art education programs for children and adults with special needs. And an event to look out for coming up next week is TARCOG's Fraud and Scams Summit to help the community recognize and stop these crimes. Fraud and scams targeting seniors are on the rise, and they're costing Americans nearly $5 billion last year alone. The pre-registration for this event has closed, but TARCOG's Senior Medicare Patrol Program Coordinator, Teresa Hazard, joined me on 48 Now and shares that if you are interested in attending, there is a waiting list you can join, and there are still ways to access resources and learn how to protect yourself from scams and fraud. Hazard shares more on how this event and the resources provided are important, and it is empowering people with the tools they need to fight back against scams.
Scammers are working while we're sleeping. And so whatever you do, protect your identity. Never give information to someone that you don't know. And also, scammers are not always strangers. So be very careful. I recommend all ages attend, because as long as you have a Social Security number, you can be scammed.
Right.
And we are always willing to share information, give information, what we know to prevent that from happening.
This is such a necessary and powerful event TARCOG is putting on for the community. The event will be held on Wednesday, August 20th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Athens. And while the registration deadline has passed, there are still ways to access resources on how to protect yourself from scams and fraud. For more details, you can visit tarcog.us. The full 48 Now interview, where Teresa gives some advice and tips on protecting yourself from scams and fraud, will be available to watch soon on WAFF.com under the Digital Shows tab. And there are just some great events happening in the city and surrounding areas this weekend, so be sure to go out, have some fun, and check out some of these amazing events. And also check out Huntsville.org's event tab and WeareHuntsville.com's event calendar to see more events happening in the area. That's all I have today for the 48 recap, but before we wrap things up, I'd love to honor one of 48 sports reporters, Cam Durr. After 2 incredible years of capturing some of Alabama's greatest sports moments, Cam is moving forward to the next part of her career. So let's take a look at some of her highlights while working here and her farewell message to the Tennessee Valley.
Sports are just different here in North Alabama. Fans are fierce and athletes have grit. It's truly been such a privilege covering our local teams and athletes that certainly kept us busy no matter the season. I've witnessed the Tennessee Valley represent on the biggest stages, from state championships to local athletes winning the Super Bowl and everything in between. Bringing your stories to life made my job special. To the coaches, players, families, and fans, thank you for welcoming me, trusting me, and allowing me to be a part of your team in some small way. This job has been more than highlights and scores. It's been about community.
It has truly been such an honor to work with Cam, and I'm so thankful for her, and we have built a friendship that will definitely last a lifetime, and she has always been a welcoming and fun spirit to have around in the newsroom. But this is not a goodbye, but just to see you later. And Cam, I can't wait to see the many more incredible things you accomplish. We will miss you here in the Tennessee Valley, but you will continue to thrive and shine in this next chapter of life. That is all I have for you today. Thank you all for tuning into the 48 recap. Don't forget to tune into 48's Weather Extra segments. Our meteorologists go live every Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Our newest forecaster, Jada Russell, will join you all back here at 4:30 today for another edition of Weather Extra. And this is just another way to give you all extra insights on the latest weather forecast. So make sure to download our 48 apps and follow us on our Facebook and YouTube channel so you don't miss any updates on the weather. And if you would like to stay connected with me throughout the week, or if you want to share any story ideas or just talk, please be sure to follow my Facebook page at Tatyana White, WAFF 48. Take care, everyone, and we've been covering a lot of stories on North Alabama college students moving in this past week. So for all the college students heading back on campus soon, I wish you all a great and safe school year. And I will see you all back here next Saturday. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.